Welcome back, guys. This is your host Maverick here, and since today is Monday, it is time for yet another episode of Monogatari. So last episode, we finally concluded the Hanekawa arc. I should say arcs, actually, since the two arcs in a row it dealt with Hanekawa's situation. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love those arcs. I thought it was a great resolution to her story. But I think it's time to allow the other girls to have their turn in the spotlight now. So apparently the second arc we're entering into, in terms of its original light novel title, it is Kabukimonogatari. And right off the bat, just looking at that name, I'm instantly associating it with lots of different things, right? Kabuki, you instantly think of the Kabuki theater, which is a traditional performance arts, popular, well, I shouldn't say popular, but very famous in Japan. Like I said, it is a sort of traditional performance art. And then when you're talking about Kabuki theater, the people who are performing in it are the Kabukimono, right? Which are basically the performers of the Kabuki arts. And then Kabukimono, you also think about, as a study of history, when you're talking about Kabukimono, you think about, at least for me, you think about what they were originally derived from, which is even though also called Kabukimono, but using different kanji to write it, which is sort of like these crazy people, these crazy samurai, or I guess they can't be called samurai. Those without a lord would be called ronin, right? These crazy ronin who dressed up in flamboyant colors and whatnot and roam the lands, which are a bunch of weird people, right? So that is the Kabukimono. And then you also think back into the very beginning on why they are called the Kabukimono. It actually derives from another part of kanji, which means tilted, slanted, or basically not straight, right? So using that as a sort of adjective to describe how they are a little bit unnormal, if you will. And as it turns out, the kanji for Kabukimonogatari, the kanji for the Kabuki is actually using the tilt kanji. So, is it all related? No, I think it might be. I think it just might be, considering that this is a series that focuses on puns and whatnot. I don't know. I feel like it has to be deliberate. How much it actually relates with the story, however, I think that's something that we can find out right now. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. And I believe this is, if I recall correctly, it's to do with Mayoi? I say that, but this is Kambaru right now. Wait, what? Or... Who are you? I totally thought it was Kambaru because, well, I guess the voice doesn't really sound that similar. But I was just thinking, someone who would call him Arargi senpai. Probably Kambaru. I guess it's not a Monogatari series if it doesn't throw you into it and makes you all confused, right? Technically true, I guess. But you can't let the world grind to a halt. Well, aren't you the pessimistic one? オギちゃん。Oshino Ogi? Related with Oshino Meme? Okay, so it is a Mayuri arc. Okay. Man, I love how every single episode starts with you questioning if you accidentally watch it out of order. Yeah, see, Kabukimono. Well, the Kabuki kanji used there means tilt. Or to the side, or something like that. Alright. I don't want to go home yet. Kind of ironic coming from Mayuri. Kamishimeteru. Is that a pun there? Jiangshi. Zombie? Hello to you. Why are you carrying my used backpack? Well, that turned philosophical all of a sudden. Kurotekishi? Really? Is it because She got beaten in by Shinobu. Yeah, she has PTSD. Okay. So this is going directly back to the beginning of the previous arc. So it seems we are going to find out what Arargi was up to during that time. Original element. Tsukumogami of a human? The hell? I like how they changed the place they were eating at. Huh. I can't argue with that. Seems like a good summary. When you say reincarnated, I guess in her context, that means she's inhibiting a different body? But apparently she still has her memories, maybe? Kinda? Of her past life? Does that mean to ask her if she's happy as a ghost? Or if she's happy that she's able to stay on, at least in the form of a ghost? Yeah, why don't we just ask her? Really? They definitely like to use Doraemon references. Okay, so this is what happened? Right. Okay then. Just like that? Right? Yeah, you are seriously OP, Shinobu. He's literally going to time travel for the purpose of completing his homework, guys. And let me guess, this is going to cause a lot more problems than was foreseen, right? She needs to time keep. Alright, so how does time travel work in the Monogatari universe? Are they going to... Is he taking the consciousness of the Arargi in this timeline? Or... what? What's with her legs? You guys. But if this was in the past, shouldn't those energies still be there? Yeah. Yeah. Don't think about it, Araragi. It's just gonna hurt your brain. Now you're asking the right questions. Basically what I was asking just right when they arrived here. Yeah. Hey! Good job, Araragi. That's what I wanted to know as well. Watch. 'What? This entire thing sounds very, very fishy. What are you up to, Shinobu? Oh, let me guess. They accidentally traveled too far into the past. Of course. Oh, wait. 11 years ago. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. I think this is still the same ending song, so, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys after this. Alrighty, there we go with the start of a new arc, and well, it certainly touches on all the different things the Monogatari series is certainly known for, right? At least my impression of it up to right now, where you start off a new arc, not really knowing about anything, all confused and whatnot. I was literally thinking if I had accidentally skipped yet another arc or something like that. And then also expanding into this kind of ridiculous situation that we have right here, right? Time travel, just like that, just like that. I guess that's the convenience that you can have when you are using more fantasy kind of stuff, right? It's magic. You can just hand wave it away and explain it all, and it would still make sense within the context of the series, right? And I also love how the sort of how can I put it, the sort of catalyst for them doing time travel was actually for a very simple reason of wanting to complete Araragi's homework, right? Now with that being said, I think what I get from this episode after rewatching again and also taking note of the text that showed on the screen, I think what happened there was basically once Shinobu opened a portal, it's not that the time warp portal, if you will. She isn't the one that's going to be setting where they are actually traveling to, right? I think Aragi's will probably takes precedence over Shinobu's. So I think what happened there was within the text that flashed quickly, while traveling through the portal, Aragi was not actually thinking about his homework, but he was actually thinking about Mayui's situation, right? And coincidentally, Mayui died about 10 years ago from when they left, right? As we were reminded at the beginning of this episode. So I think them traveling 11 years back and whatnot kind of represents, in a way, the sort of subconscious of Aragi working, or did powers that be or whatnot, and sent him back 11 years back to somehow do something about the Mayu situation, right? Now, I don't quite know if they're actually going to change history or something like that, but at least go back and get some answers, right? I think that's why this arc is going to be Mayoi focused, and I think that's why they are currently 11 years to the past, right? Beyond that, there are some other kind of suspicious things that I am thinking about as well, such as does this also represent, for instance, Shinobu was certainly quite nonchalant about the entire situation. She's not really taking it seriously, but she's also acting rather odd, right? So I do wonder if this is her way of, since she is kind of linked with Aragi in a way, right? And including knowing his emotions, knowing what he's thinking, etc., etc. So I do kind of wonder if this is actually Shinobu's way of allowing Araragi to deal with the situation, right? Subconsciously, Araragi wants to do something about Mayoi and whatnot, and so this is how it turned out, right? I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case as well, but that's just a hypothesis on my part. By the way, another thing that I didn't notice after the fact is, so during the episode, there was a scene where, right after he time traveled, they had a close-up shot of Shinobu's legs, right? Now, obviously, that shot is important. I didn't quite realize it at the time, but after watching it again and thinking about it a little bit more, I think what it's supposed to imply is that Shinobu has lost her regenerative power, at least temporarily, now that they are in the past, right? Otherwise, you know, she is this sort of immortal vampire and whatnot. Any sort of wounds that she gets is supposed to be healed up near instantly, and yet there you can see that she is still, you know, she has those scars and bruises on her leg, right? So for some reason, you know, probably because they traveled to the past and whatnot, she currently does not have her regenerative abilities anymore, and that possibly would go to Araragi as well. So not quite sure if it's just because she used up a lot of her power in order to open this portal, or because of other reasons, if you will. And by the way, the answer to the question that I was asking, and then eventually Araragi asked, you know, is there a separate Araragi existing in this world? I would say, based on the events that I see right now, the answer is probably yes. So there is a sort of a toddler, a child Araragi currently existing right now, but it's probably not going to have anything to do with, you know, Araragi's probably not going to make any sort of, well, even if he does make contact with his child self, it's probably not going to actually change anything, right? So so I think that is the answer to that question as well. And it's an interesting question, right? Because I feel like for people who do watch a bit more time travel works and whatnot, these are the sort of checklist of stuff that you need to go through, right? Especially for someone who likes to watch sci-fi works as well, or anything related with time travel. Anyways, for me, I like to pick apart at the logic behind the time travel, point out all the paradoxes and whatnot, which I'm not going to do too much in this series because, you know, if this was a series using pseudoscience or whatnot, trying to incorporate it into the, you know, incorporate actual science into the time travel, I would basically do critique of that, because I do find it interesting, right, how an anime, how a work interprets these kinds of science rules and things that we do know, and then sort of twist them, bend them in a little way that's still believable, but still allows us to have an entertaining story, right, and then critique it based on how plausible or how well they thought it through. I'm not going to do that for this series because, like I said, this is a series that uses magic. You can simply hand wave a lot of the stuff away. I don't think there's too big of meaning to dig too deep into this. But yeah, anyways, back to what I was saying. So there is this sort of checklist of things that you really want to go through, right? Such as, for instance, the initial question is, okay, so does Araragi, another version, you know, the younger version, the past version of Araragi still exist here? Are they able to meet or whatnot? Will that cause a time paradox? Will that change anything? Are they actually able to change history from here? You know, is this, and if you really want to get deeper, right, is this just one continuous timeline, or is it somewhat where there's multiple worlds? So even if you if you go to the future for one, that doesn't, you know, if you change the past for one, it doesn't necessarily mean that you yourself will be affected, because it, you know, the past self is going to go into a different timeline from you, and it's not going to intersect, so whatever you do here isn't actually going to affect your own future, right? Like that kind of stuff. But obviously, like I said, I don't think this is a series where we want to take that too seriously. But yeah, I mean, time travel, not really much else to say here. Those are just my quick observations, and we'll see what happens in the next few, right? Obviously, what we do know is that Araragi disappeared the day before the opening ceremony, and he's not going to come back until a few days after. So even after they do finish whatever they're trying to do here, and then try to go back to their future, they're not actually going to go back right when they left, right? They're actually going to allow a few days to pass. So yeah, that's on that part. And I guess another interesting tidbit here would be the appearance of Oshino Ogi, right? Ogi. Well, obviously the Oshino name means that she's related with Oshino Meme somehow. I'd be guessing probably not a daughter. I don't think Oshino is that old. So if I were to venture a guess, I would say sister or niece, right? Personally, because of their age difference, I would lean more towards niece. Although, I guess, actually, how old is Oshino? He looks and acts kind of old, but perhaps he's only like, I don't know, is he 30 yet? Like, if he is 30, I would guess more towards the niece part, but if not, then perhaps it's possible that it's just his sister, right? But anyways, that's definitely an interesting addition. I apologize for actually misrecognizing her as Kambaru, but like I said, I didn't think of her sound that much, and I was just thinking, oh hey, it's someone that's calling Araragi senpai at school a female, probably Kambaru, right? Honest mistake. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. It seems that the first episodes of All Monogatari series, they are quite light on information, so I can't really say too much. So, that's it for now. We'll continue to watch forward and see what else we can derive from there. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys next week.